Okay.
I think we also have to
Oh.
Code is a testament to the power of integrating data from multiple specialized systems. It relies on diverse data, including content street data from the BFD and the Unibroad. and the protein structure from PDB and the metagenomics data from Magnify. Also from different locations. This highlights the critical need for effective data collaboration in cutting-edge research. Another case study is the ecological data processing, such as studies of the Yellow River Basin, which is a critical ecological barrier for China. Research here requires integrating diverse data types like remote sensing data, and meteorological data, and the digital elevation algorithm to perform complex analysis. So let's to review these studies. If we want to do the analysis, first we need to collect the related data. For example, if a scientist wanting to forecast future dam, this is the first step, finding and collect the necessary data. Okay. We must ask where do I find the data? Then they find the data and location, and then they have to navigate to these locations one by one. And then collect this data as a whole from those providers. I call this core approach. Because this core approach is inefficient and creates a significant overhead. Here's the detailed pain points of the core approach. First, the lack of the united internet make it difficult to locate the right data. Second, it is highly inefficient as researchers often download large data sets containing most relevant information. What if a user might need only 1 month of data from 26 gigabytes this data set, spanning over a century. This data set. Target systems often don't support such target retrievals. Finally, the manual process of data circulation lacks oversight, causing risk of data misuse and tampering. So this clearly shows the need for a new way to handle research data collaboration. So I will establish the definition. We will now move to the second part of our talk, the APAN60 and its architecture. This is where our proposed APAN60 approach come in. Our primary goal is to enable end-to-end collaborative analysis of research data. We aim to build a framework that allows researchers to use insights from distributed centers, employ various computational models, and solve their research problems online in a seamless integrated environment. For example, in our Yellow River case, RDCA can orchestrate workflow involves 10 datasets and nearly 20 analysis models across 3 different centers to answer a complex question like how many dams exist in the Yellow River area. RDC is built on 3 key technologies. The first one is metadata linking. By leveraging semantic web technologies and control the vocabulary, we can create a linked data network that connects the metadata from disparate data centers. This network acts as a global data mesh, significantly enhancing the discovery of scientific data. The second key technology is the local first workflow scheduling. Our guiding principle is to move the computer node to the data, not the other way around. This avoids the massive overhead of transferring large data sets. Instead, we transmit only the computer node results. This allows for fine-grained on-demand calculation. To ensure security, we use blockchain for traceability and audit. The last key technology is end-to-end workflow orchestration. We bridge the gap between a research question and the final result by automatically orchestrating multi-step workflows using large language models. This allows researchers to interactively refine their data sources through a conversational interface, making complex analysis more accessible. Here's a complete reference architecture of IBC. It is composed of two main networks: a linked data network for data discovery and a data agent network for workflow orchestration. This architecture is implemented through three types of stack or software. Deployed at the participating data center. Data providing stack, data processing stack, and data agent stack. Okay. Now let me introduce the Connect, which is the reference implementation of the RDC architecture. Allow me to provide some context for the Connect. Since 2019, Chinese Academy of Sciences have established a scientific data center system, which is comprising over 13 centers spanning 3 hierarchical tiers. At the summit, we have the general center operated by CEIC. The intermediate layer is comprised of discipline-specific centers, like the Earth observation data center, while the bottom side houses institutional centers, such as the biology center. So the general center needed to support end-to-end collaborative analysis of research data. They use the different data sets and algorithms across distributed centers to solve the final problem online. They must keep all steps can be performed online. To achieve this hard code, we developed a network named Connect and deployed it to the CES centers. Connect follows the RDCA architecture, which can be divided into 4 layers. The first layer is the assessment layer. The second one is the resource layer. And the third one is the agent scheduler layer. The last one is the data flow agent layer. Today, Connect has adopted 7 institutional data centers. It provides a global data map covering 23 terabytes of resources and supports cross simple scaling of computing capacity. Practice use case is the analysis of background graphs via biomass. This workflow spans multiple data centers, involves over 100 analysis algorithms, and integrates for distinct data processing flow. So finally, let's look into the future plan. Looking ahead, we plan to adapt the Connect for a wide range of application scenarios from the biodiversity and the multi-message astronomy to the field station monitoring. Moreover, our vision is not limited to our own network. We are actively working to make APAN60 compatible with similar international initiatives, such as the Europe's EU data and the ISON telescope network. We are also keen to collaborate with partners across the Asia-Pacific region to build a more connected global research infrastructure. So to summarize, RDC is the reference architecture for research data collaboration, built on 3 pillars. We have data linking, the local first overflow scheduling, the end-to-end overflow orchestration. Our implementation Connect has been successfully deployed across the CES data centers. Our long-term vision is to provide a fully automated question and answer style data processing service that lowers the technical barrier for data analysis for all researchers. Thanks for your attention.
Do you have any questions from the floor? Yes, please.
Clarification, I guess. So right now, Kona is China only, right? Is that true? Okay.
Currently,
Yes. Okay, and then the plan to work and to link up, become more compatible with other networks. I was just wondering what the plans are in regards to cross-data laws, because I remember at UST we had some, well, all over the world we had problems about a year ago where, for example, very simple data from like the China Statistical Yearbooks and things provided by CNKI were cut off for 6 months. So what are the plans to make sure that anything that's compatible or working will always be able to flow?
To make things compatible with each other is very difficult. Because there is a lot of existing infrastructure, they are not built at the first to compare with each other.
So my question wasn't about technical compatibility. It was about
Yeah, you're very loud.
a big family, but about making sure that the social and legal structures allow, after the technical things, which are hard enough to solve, are solved, that the data would continue to flow. Because we've had problems where sometimes things were stopped for up to 6 months, things that seem quite innocuous.
So I'm the Huajin. I'm also from CNSF Class. So we'll have that part related to legal and also regulatory frameworks about the comparison. in the introduction of our center. Because apart from Huajin, our center also supported just received approval to build to construct the trusted space for basic science in China. So there is some regulatory concerns related to that.
Okay, and that would be very clear before we go for it. Okay, thank you, sorry. I appreciate it.
Anybody else? Questions? Louis? Trish, any online questions?
Not that I can see.
Can I?
Oh.
Hi, Mark. This is Adi.
Here's a question.
Hello, Mark. Can you hear me?
I'm running the room for you.
The setting we'll have to do it during the break, not now, because we have to stop.
Okay.
So during the break, they will set it up.
So, Adi has the question? No, he's just waiting. Okay.
Did you have a question, Adi?
Yes. Mark, just a small question.
Anybody?
Can you hear me?
Okay, your small question.
Can you hear me? Adi here.
Yes.
Yeah. Mark, I have a small observation. When you're talking about the research data from different institutes, the question of standards for compatibility and also taking care of the semantic, the inconsistencies. Can you hear me? How the author is going to take care? Thank you. Sorry, not able to hear. Chai-san? Yes, now it's fine. Yeah.
Can you hear me on the microphone?
It's better to do it just on this computer.
Okay, it's hard to do. We'll get Adi to type in a question and pass it.
Just type it in then.
Yeah,
Just type
let's
it
go to the
in.
next speaker.
Right. Next speaker.
So we'll get sit down.
Link of your answer the question from Professor Ati for India. Yeah, so in the after you finish the next speaker, and okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, you, Jyoti, and then me. Yeah.
Because the problem is cannot join because his mother passed away. So have to be the funeral. So we move to Jyoti. Jyoti Sanna Ho Singh Bao Gao. She's a research software. She's from Research Software Engineering Asia Association. The topic will be understanding the personnel of research software engineer from Asia Institute. She's from India. Please welcome. Oh my. This is something. But of course, this depends on the topic. Next session, we're ready. Jamie said so. I don't know.
Switch my audio.
No. I just stopped your speaker.
Yeah.
Can you call someone for connecting this?
If
Oh
not,
my.
I will need to share my
Yeah, go there.
presentation.
Oh, wow. Then maybe copy is not. That's always one thing that when you share a computer, something happens again. So better use the old one, but copy you. But anyway, why don't you setting up?
Share my presentation on this laptop.
Yeah, have to use this one only.
Shall I share my PDF?
Just a little bit. Have fun, eh? But during waiting, anyone have any question for Professor Wong? Any question? Not yet. You have something?
So we normally have the open sharing data session in every APAN meeting. We get a different audience every time.
It's a lot.
It's a good crowd here, so. That's so social.
Usually the largest crowd.
I want to do a quick survey of who's in the room. Who comes into this with like data sharing as part of their job? Like who has technical responsibility or software responsibility or is a researcher who wants to share data? Or is just sitting here because they want the coffee when it's finished?
I think it's the view.
Well, I mean, it's one of the better views of all the rooms. But I'm just intrigued. Do you have any librarians in the room?
Yeah.
Sure, man. Yeah, you got the librarians, right? IT, software developers, yeah, infrastructure people. Yeah, a few there.
What the boss?
Oh, man, you have bosses in the room. I'm shy. So what other categories? What am I missing here? Call them out.
Researchers.
Domain experts.
What?
Domain expert.
Domain experts.
Domain expert. Well, here we try to do the thing. There's a problem with the sharing data because our goal actually is open science. But before we do that, or even AI, we talk about AI ethics a lot before. But the problem is that if you don't have good data, we have problem. You know the was it a theory or something? Garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how good your AI system would be or whatever. Super computer. If the data are not good, then it means nothing. Michael, I don't know. Some people think differently. AI can do everything. Even with the garbage, come out with something excellent. I don't know. We'll try to argue that, but some people they do think like that, which is strange. Because they so believe in.
Somebody once said that the internet demonstrates the theory about the million monkeys turning out Shakespeare. It's proven wrong. It's obviously not possible.
Right.
And now we're starting up the internet with AI. Let's not go there.
Right.
It's interesting to know though what people's interests are in the sharing of data thing. Because every country, yeah. No, wait for the microphone. We need to be here in the room.
Training. Sometimes the researchers telling that you can open dataset using AI, like Wikipedia and Wikipedia, or some agentic tool using this some AI and collect the data and augment and generate some data. If you have more data set and then you can make the popular data performance. So what do you think about that one? This is my idea. I have read that. Any possibility of manifestation? AI what AI can do, and that's what they are doing.
So just based on experience in Australia, and as Professor Wong mentioned in China, for any tool, whether it's AI driven or not, for it to be able to understand data, it has to be described, it has to be structured, it has to have a certain amount of framework.
You get context in the prompt to describe all these things and domain and everything. And then AI can generate realistic the data.
Well, it can query for data sets, but a lot of the data sets that are provided by researchers, they have not done a lot of curation or management around that data yet. So it's difficult for an AI to interpret any data unless it's been trained, educated on a certain type or format or approach to the data. I'm an astronomer by training. If I give you astronomy data or I give an AI astronomy data, you won't understand what it is. Right? It'll know it's an image, maybe, but it won't know how to reference it against anything else. It has a time, it has a place, it has a characteristics, it has filters, it has all sorts of metadata around it. So one of the things I'm interested in that Professor Wong's work is doing is where he's bringing in semantic web technologies, and there are processes that seem to be a big challenge. There seems to be a growing awareness that data to be, Trish will also talk about the fair data principles, but making data accessible and usable for researchers. We're getting close. That's certainly a major challenge, right? That's to teach the computer how to interpret the data before they can answer questions about the data.
This is the same question that in Pakistan, the agriculture working group,
right.
They would like to do this because it's very difficult to go to the field. Instead of going to the field, can the AI now generate it? Instead, it's just sitting in here, everything. It's very difficult to answer that because eventually, at the end, or whatever, you have to go to the field to check that out. If you think that the AI can generate the data for you, so you don't have to go to the field. That's
what's the AI going to generate the data from? Right? It has to have that ground truth, as you say. And new things emerge all the time.
In the medical issues and everything got some data and can we generate this one and use for the next thing.
I think there's a chicken and egg problem here. That the data has to be a certain quality.
Yeah, Joy is now ready.
Yeah, Joy's ready. Exactly.
Welcome back, Jyoti. So Jyoti went down to the first floor of the reception. The floor is yours.
Am I audible online?
Yeah,
Okay, all right. So, good morning, everyone. We are Hong Kong. I'm Jyoti Bhogat. I've come here all the way from India for the very first time to Hong Kong. And it has been really lovely to see the scenic views all around the mountains, the islands, and the seas and the ocean. Today I will be speaking about my ongoing research study, which is on understanding the personas of research software engineers from Asian institutes. There are the links to my LinkedIn and GitHub, so if you want to connect, you can use them. Before we go into the details of the research study, I'll speak a little bit more about me and my work. So I am the co-founder and co-lead of the RSE Asia Association. This is a volunteer-driven community which works towards creating more awareness for the profession of research software engineering in the Asian region. I am also a fellow of the Software Sustainability Institute, which is based in the UK. All right, I think that's better. I'm a fellow of the SSI, which is based in UK, and I am running this project with the mentorship given from the SSI Institute. I am also a research software engineering contributor at the.
So online is still
Stuck.
on.
So, the online is not until the break. That's what Jamie.
No.
No.
So,
screen.
yeah, that
Yeah.
computer is connected to that Zoom. No. So,
Oh, this one not
that,
moving?
that computer.
Yeah, it's
And
not
then, but the screen is
still on slide 2.
You have to duplicate I don't know.
What do you see now?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Okay.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, please.
I have
So we get more.
Just share your screen, on your laptop.
And I will synchronize.
Mm.
Use the academy training.
Well, next week, if not, we will call Chinchi here to solve it. So we can't share.
on online, is it other sites?
Okay.
Perfect.
Yes, meet your speaker.
Alright.
Thanks,
Okay.
Katsu.
Okay. I think we are straight now.
Yes, we'll
I-
see when you keep going.
I'll go on now. So, apart from my research study, I'm also a research software contributor at the VHI, which is a medical research institute based in Australia. So, I'm developing a Python package for generating and visualizing clinical data. Last year in 2024, I graduated from the CSCCE's Scientific Community Management Fundamentals course, which gave me a lot of terms and concepts, vocabulary for the terms and concepts for scientific community management. Besides, I'm also a contributor for the R programming languages data.table package. Here I work on translating our language messages from the English language to the Hindi language, which is one of my native languages. And besides, I'm also a community manager for the Research Software Alliance Australia. There's a QR code on the screen which you can use to connect with me, and they have various social handles, so you can use that and feel free to connect with me to discuss anything. My journey so far has been shaped up by a lot of communities that I have been part of. One of these are the OLS community, for which I was a mentee, where I started the project RSC Asia Association in 2021. Besides, I am also a community member of the Our Ladies community, global community, and I've also been a rotating curator for them. Previously, I've also worked at Cytel as a statistician and a software quality engineer, and I've also been an Impact Scholar 2021 at the Data Global Conference. So that was about me. Now, moving on, I'd like to give a community overview of the RSC Asia Association. On the screen, you can see a map of the community membership of all the people who have joined us as community members. So we had launched RSC Asia Association as a community in 2021. So far we have more than 88 members. We have conducted more than 10 events, workshops, or conferences, and we have delivered more than 22 talks. So how do we engage with our community, and what is our growth plan? We have been engaging with our community through a monthly conversation series. The last season was from October 2024 to March 2025, where we had a monthly panel discussion with speakers from all across Asia and Africa. We conducted this in conjunction and collaboration with the RSSE Africa group. We also have recordings from the same which can be seen at our YouTube channel. And we also have blog posts where people can check out the discussions and all the learning resources shared during the sessions. Each year since 2022, we have been conducting an conference, an online conference with collaboration with the RSC Australia New Zealand group. And this year it will be in September from 17 to 19 September 2025. The registrations will be open soon, and for any more details, you can look at the website rseaa.org. Besides, we have been sharing blog posts about our work, and they can be seen at the website for RSE Asia Association. So while I was working on all these activities, I realized that there is some gap. Each year, the SSI conducts a landscape survey to get more insights of the RSE communities across different regions of the world. So I observed that since 2016, these surveys have been going on. However, Asia was missing from this landscape, and that's where I got motivation to work on this research study. I had also shared this idea at one of the previous APAN meetings, which was in August 2024, and there too I got some positive feedback to go ahead with this work, which is when I started this study in January 2025. So, looking at who gets affected by this lack of representation, so the main issue over here is that the biggest impact is on the people who work in research institutes with the skills of a researcher as well as a programmer. So we have observed that the primary output is considered as the theoretical results or data is considered as a primary output, but a lot of the times the efforts or the time that goes into writing softwares for the research work, this doesn't get counted as a primary output. So, so the people who work in such roles, they are those who get really impacted by this. So these issues are resolved by diversifying and expanding the research landscape, addressing the lack of formal RSC roles in the Asian region, and leveraging international partnerships and also community building and support. So the way I thought of solving this problem is by conducting a survey, by taking the inspiration from SSI. So this survey helps because it generates qualitative as well as quantitative insights from the community, which have been missing so far. This can be used further for policy making around research software. This in turn benefits those who are interested in pursuing a career path like this. So in order to have better insights from the people who are truly impacted by the lack of representation, it is really essential to conduct this survey and get a more accurate and complete representation. So I'll speak a bit more about the study methodology. As I said, I'm leveraging the surveys that have been already conducted by the SSI, and I am adopting them for the Asian region by changing the questions a bit, changing the answer, the response drop-down values for the same. So this study is being conducted to create survey questions specific to the Asian context, and the survey will soon be promoted through RSE Asia LinkedIn channel as well as through the through APAN community and other organizations in Asia to reach the grassroots level. The outputs of the survey will be anonymized, and the reports of the analysis will be shared openly through GitHub and similar relevant publishing platforms, saying Zenodo. Furthermore, I'll also be creating a community network analysis graph to create better analysis insights from the community. The progress so far on this project have been that I have adapted the SSI surveys to the Asian context. I've also launched a small pilot survey within a small group, the OSDWG group in the APAN, and I have received feedbacks from the same. I have addressed the feedbacks as well. The next steps would be launching the survey. So on the screen, you can see a QR code. If you scan this, you will go to the community membership form of RSE Asia Association, as well as an expression of interest to participate in the survey. And this would take less than a minute. So if you'd like to scan that, here's the QR code. If you have any difficulty scanning the QR code, I also have the link, which is https://bit.ly/community_membership. Yeah, I'll give you a minute to look at it. For any other further posts on this, for any other updates, you can also follow the RSC Asia LinkedIn channel, for which the QR code is on the screen, and also the link is on the screen. So bit.ly/RSC_Asia_LinkedIn. With that, it's time for a little quiz. It would be a really short and a quick quiz. So, and you also stand a chance to win some goodies. So you have to scan this QR code, and it has just one question. You have to share your thoughts about the relevance and impact of digital software. And in the form, I've also asked for your email address, which I'll use to connect with you in case you have won the goodies. And I will be distributing the same at around 3 p.m. today near the reception area. So look out for an email from me. I'm Jyoti, so yeah, check out for an email and do share your thoughts. I want to acknowledge Saranjeet Kaur, on whose work I have based this current project so far. I also want to acknowledge Yehudi, who has helped me shape up the idea of the project, the initial idea. And I also want to thank Jeremy Cohen, who has been mentoring me on the project to make it more precise. Thank you very much for listening. And on the screen, you can see all the relevant links. There is the link for RSC community membership and survey for expression of interest. There's also the link for RSC share LinkedIn, and there's a Zenodo link for the slides of this session, and a Linktree link for connecting with. With that, I open the floor for questions.
The question. One thing, after this, you just send me the slide so I can upload it, because the link I'll upload it after the break. So just you send me the slide, send the slide. So you can look at the link later. Welcome. Finally, you're here. Okay. Any questions for Jyoti?
Yes.
Yes.
You can always count on me for questions. But if other people raise questions, I'll put my hand up. I don't want to be too. So I was wondering if you could maybe share with us, I don't know, any struggles or difficulties in establishing RSE, and maybe any wonderful victories.
Yes. Oh, definitely. There have been struggles and there have been victories. Maybe I'll share about the victories first. The recent most was so there are two. One is the annual unconference that we conduct in collaboration with the RSC AUNZ, and we'll be having our fourth edition this year in September. It is all volunteer driven, so that is the struggle. And last year around this time, we have been looking for funding for this ongoing project. However, we couldn't find it, so I'm doing it in my volunteer time. Other than this, the 6-month online series that we conducted recently between October 2024 and March 2025, that was really a win for us, because we had around 33% turn up in each of the episodes, and there were people would join repeatedly for the different sessions. Besides, there was one session in which we had a person joining from Japan, and at the same time we had a person joining from US. So we could really reach at a global level. So those are some ways that we have had so far.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Victoria, for the question.
Challenges?
Yeah, so one of the biggest challenges is that collaboration is the only way to go forward, and apart from that, fundings even for the operational costs. So that is one challenge.
Yeah.
Another challenge that I faced while designing this survey is that even within Asia, there are a lot of countries and a lot of diversity in the institutional structures. So while I was designing the survey and choosing the options to giving the multiple choice questions, I really had to think hard about what options should I give so that it should be suitable to multiple countries at the same time.
Any questions from the audience? Here we go.
Yeah. So even though you are outreaching to the Japan, so honestly speaking, in my country, Japan, we don't have such a RSE kind of, exact such a position in my country. So the researcher is doing, developing the research software by themselves and running it by themselves. There's no such a support. Maybe only the Australia has such a, the huge different type of the team under the, the research. So that's our big challenge to go. But if we go into the much more data-centric science or AI kind of centric science, we need such the person who can handle that huge amount of data, different types of data, including the curating the data itself. So how we can do for the RSC community, or how we can build up such a RSA community in our poor country and
Poor. Japan is poor.
So that is exactly the gap for which we had started the RSC Asia community. We do have some members who join us repeatedly from Japan as well. So we are working towards awareness and also creating educational materials. I think if we have some joint work together, then maybe we can work towards recognizing the efforts that researchers who hold as well, to recognize their efforts. I think we can do something else.
I think because there's a definition problem. So in Australia, yes, there are people who are trained as software engineers who then work supporting researchers. But a lot of the people that are involved with the RSE activities are end researchers who want to get the skills. We do carpentries and workshops and hackathons and whatever to raise skills and awareness. So it's not a well-defined role. It's not a well-defined community. You have, per head of population, the same number of researchers as most economists do. You have people who provide IT support. They're the RSEs. They're the people trying to target. I can think of 2 or 3 people in your team who you call RSEs. So I think it's a perspective thing as well. And maybe that's something that you might want to take on too, is how do we adapt the language to make it a much more open concept? I'm waving my hands here, but there we go, Victoria.
Yeah. Well, I guess I think that professionalization is always a challenge, and then so for example, would HR, would the human resources office personnel, whatever is in the institutions, recognize this as a role? Would there be certain certifications that you could then show that you have it? Because, sorry, I have to deal with staffing a lot.
Yeah.
But in terms of then calling definitions and things like that, I think it's somewhat related there. But then of course, then that's not opening in one way, that's kind of closing or channeling in some weird way.
Yeah. It actually reminds me. I did a survey for Michelle, many years ago now, where we said, what is the size of the research support community in Australia? It took me 6 months to design the survey because the definitions were so broad. But even worse was when I was trying to get people to answer the question, their minds went either very broad or very narrow. And then you had to do all sorts of weird and dodgy statistics to get some numbers out of it. I think having the ultimate aim of this is to have a community. you know, we're not trying to classify people, although I do love accreditation, certification, there's some really good benefits of that. But the getting people to participate in the community to know, hey, I need to do a big data project, I need to do something with R that does this, that, and the other with Python. Has anybody else done this? You know, can AI write my code for me now? Maybe, but it still has to have a lot of science thinking put into that software. So I think we need to have a very, very broad church. So that's a subject as well, isn't it?
I just wanted to reflect on what you just said, Marcus, and also your question. As you said, the term is not very well defined. For my survey, as well as for the online community conversation series that we conduct, we avoid using the word RSC. We oftentimes we use a researcher who codes. So that is a more broad term, and more people can relate to it. And we also connected our series with the open science theme. So that so the theme of the series was enabling open science through research code. So that is something that more people can relate to, and that's why people join the sessions. If the titles are not recognizable, then people do not really join.
Yep, that's a really good point.
Yeah, I like that researcher who codes, right?
Yes.
Although there is also many coders who research.
Yeah, or who support researchers.
Let's move on.
All right.
Thank you.